you are here to learn more about Affinity Design 2.0, you are in the best place in the world. I'm John Silva, and today I want to bring here a new tutorial for you in order to explain how you can use the mesh tool in order to create perspective. So that case, let's get started here. This is my Affinity screen, and then I'm going to start to create a new document. Click here new, and then I'm going to set up here the web, and then I will select here the key FAD and hit create. Now it is time to show you how the perspective grid works. Well, to understand more about the perspective, you need to understand a little bit the fundamentals. The fundamental is simple. You need to focus on the vantage point and the horizon line, and then from that point you can create the perspective, which means that if you have here a line just like that, from this point here you can create the lines here that is gonna give you the perspective. So in the past version it was very difficult to make this kind of work manually, alright, on Affinity. Right now it is so far easier to create perspective because now we have the mesh tool that's gonna help us to create our grid. And to explain much better how the perspective works using 3D examples here, I'm gonna show you the Blender. And we have here the simple cube that we're gonna do in 2D by using the vector. And as you can see, as we move here the camera, we're gonna see the difference and how the shapes are also changing here, right? So as you can see, we have this axis, which is the Y and X and Z, all right? So if you click here, you're gonna see the perspective changing as we change here the axis. In that case, we're gonna make something similar to this perspective right here, okay? So right now, let's see how you can set up the grid system. First of all, I'm going to delete this, and then I'll select here the rectangle, and then you need to look at this. I'll click and drag. As you can see, we have here this rectangle, but you don't need to release right now. Instead, keep your mouse selected, and then you're going to click here on the right click over your keyboard. So you're gonna click here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you're gonna have 5 squares here, and then I'll click, with the button below arrow here. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'm gonna have here this grid. Then I'm gonna release the mouse. After that, I'm going to make this in white to have this grid. It can be in gray, and then I'm going to just to resize this, and I have this result here by holding shift. As you can see, we're gonna have here this grid system. So after that, what you can do here, it is to apply here the warp group. You're gonna have here these options, which is the mesh, quad and perspective. For this tutorial, I'm gonna use the false perspective. After you click here, you can now move these handles that you have here in the corners. You have 4 of them here, and then I'm going to select, and then I can push them right here. This will really depend on how your perspective grid will perform, but in that case, let's make this look like something like that in 3D. Now after you have your grid system, of course it's gonna be important for you to set up some guidelines in order to make things easier for you. We have here this grid, which is the floor, and then I'm going to duplicate this, and then I can now change this a little bit more. So I'm going to use here the node tool and click here the warp group, because now you can change this, as you can see here, in order to make a sort of big cube. This will guide us regard our view, our camera. We are doing this manually, as you can see, in order just to fit here in these areas. And then you can start to build a sort of grid. You can use the pen tool in order to do that. You can, for example, grab here the corners in order just to see that case how your grid system is working. Just grab here where the guides is reaching here. You can imagine this as a building. Right now we got here this result. I'm going to move this below. Well, congratulations. Now we're gonna reduce here this opacity here. We don't need this to be very strong. It can be simple like that. All right, we can leave this just like that. And let's say that you want to create here a cube. As you can see here, we have this floor, and I'm going to duplicate this once again, and I'm gonna change this color to more white, and then I'm going to resize it by holding Ctrl and Shift and then you can drag onto here. The perspective is not fitting because you need to change this manually. And then what you need to make sure to make things in perspective, it is to follow the guideline. All right, you need to follow at least the guideline. So if you move this up, it's gonna not fitting correctly over the perspective, because as you up more the object with the lens, which is the camera, your view is gonna change the way that you see that object. So right now what you need to do, it is to change here this perspective warp group. Now what I'm gonna do, it is to move this below right here, and then click here in order to fit this into here, as you can see. And now we need to duplicate this again. In that case, I'm going to reset this mesh here. I will click in none, and then I will go here again to perspective. In that case, I will try now to fit this into here. As you're gonna see right now, can be something like that. Try to match these corners. All right, you need to match these corners here in order to make this cube in a nice angle. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm gonna flip. But if you try to do this, you're gonna have this result. All good, but we still need to move this more to here, right? We can move this in that way, but I suggest you to click twice over the warp group, and then we can press A, which is the node tool, and move this and follow the grid system just like that. Now it's so far easier to complete this top area here. What you just need to do, it is to select this grid here that you have as a guideline. All right, I'm going to duplicate this, and then you're gonna resize. In that case, I'm gonna make this 100%. So the trick here about using the perspective, I'd say that you need to match the grid lines, which is the corners. So before, it was a very hard way to reach this result using Affinity 1.9, and then with the new version, it's so far easier. Make sure to fit these corners right here. Click here over the warp group, and then node 2, and bring this guy onto here. I need to match this all in the corners, and then I'm gonna have this result here in a perfect cube. Congratulations, my friend, if you are watching this lesson until now. I just want to ask you to leave your like here in order to show your support, and also if you want to learn much more, please comment here below, and I'll be very happy to create more tutorials for you. So here, let's get back. What I want to do here right now, it is to make the warp group in pure vector. Right now, if you move this, you're gonna see here this rectangle, which means that this is still in the warp group mode. So if we select here the warp group, which is here, you can still move this as a perspective grid. And then what we want to do here, it is to make a backup before we make the warp group as pure vector. Duplicate here in edit, duplicate selection. As you can see now, we have everything duplicated. I'm gonna hide everything else just like that. I'm going to select these guys here, each one of them with the warp group selected, and then click here convert to curves. As you can see, Affinity has just converted all this in vector. All right, where I can change here the nodes from there. And then what we want to do here after that, it is to select all this curve. If you want, you can click here in add, and after that Affinity will merge them all. So let's do here the same process. Go here and then click here to add, and go here as well, select the rectangle, and then add again. After that, you can give here the color based on where the light is coming from. For example, let's say that it's coming from top. I can just leave like that. Here below, let's apply as well on the floor. I want to merge them all. I want to go here, and then I want to click here on top in order to add them. Now, as you can see, we have this perfect cube. In that case, I want to hide this outline. I want to select all of this, and then I want to hide the stroke, just like that, as you can see now. After that, I can start to apply some shadings. I'm using the fill tool, and then I want to apply a shading just like that. And here, just select the fill tool, and then you drag with your mouse in order to have this cube right here. And then what I want to do, which is very nice by using the mesh tool, it is the perspective being applied for the shadow. And how you can do this? Basically, you can select here this curve. Don't forget as well to convert this to curves if you want to convert this 100% in vector, as you can see, convert these to curves. Then I'm going to duplicate this. Also, I can back here to the warp and apply here the false perspective, and then I can just move this node right here. Then I'm going to bring this into here more or less, and then I can bring this onto here. After that, I can bring this below, alright, of our layer here, moving this below and make this a bit dark. And after that, you can add here a transition of the shadow in order to create this cube. Very nice. I will apply here just the shading for this area in order to make this cube, and that's it. This is our cube in perspective. And now, as you can see, we have just completed our lesson here, and we have made just a simple cube in order to understand how you can apply the grid system and the perspective. Because if you try to do the perspective without a grid system, it can be hard for you to understand how and where the lines and alignments will be applied. This will really change your game when you are creating vectors and when you want to use the light and shadows, because without this your visual composition will not be so great. Well, that's it for now. I suggest you to get my course, which is the new masterclass Affinity Design 2.0 course, and I'll leave here the link available on the description below if you want to get this course for you. Guys, thank you so much, and I see you in the next tutorial. Take care and bye bye.